Welcome to the 15th chapter of the book of Joshua. We're continuing with the division of the land. Now we're going to go into the division by the different tribes, beginning with the tribe of Judah. And it begins and says, and the boundaries, Oria. Now, this is an important word. We are going to see it later when we get down to verse 11 and go explain something about this word, which I think is very interesting. But right now, it's boundary, a boundary. We have the English word horizon. Horizon comes from that. A horizon is a boundary out, far out as you can see. That's the horizon. And the Oria of the Philis, phylum, derivative of Judah, were, according to their demus, demography, derivative of the peoples, from the borders of Edom, which is down south here, the Edomites, from the wilderness of Zin, and that's down in here, to the south unto Kadesh. And Kadesh, I think, is off the map here. But we're not going to go through all the places on the map. There's too many in this chapter. You can generally see. Judah takes up this area all down in here in the southern part. It became the kingdom later. It became the kingdom of David. And then the 10 other tribes were up in the north. Judah and Benjamin were down south here. And their borders were from the south unto a part of the Salty Sea. And that's the Salty Sea here. From the ridge bearing to the south. And it travels over before the ascent leading to I'm going to read the Greek words. You can see the English, and you're probably familiar with them if you have read the Bible and the King James and so forth. So I'll do the Greek so you can see how it's pronounced. The Akravin, and goes around to Sinah, or Sin, and ascends from the south unto Kadesh Varnid. I put unto all these places where it's at P, 1909. Unto is going to all be unto, and goes forth to Ezron, and ascends into Adarah, and it marches around by the descent of Karis, and it goes forth unto Asamonah, and it passes out unto the rushing stream of Egypt, which would be way down over here off the map. And his outer reaches will be of the borders at the sea. And I assume it's talking about the Mediterranean here. This is their borders from the south. Now this is the borders that is being set up at this time. We get to the book of Ezekiel, we see that the borders are completely different. In I think it's the 48th chapter. You can go to the video seminars, and I think I have a map there and shows the division of the tribes. And the Oria, again, the borders from the east, Anatolia is now what Turkey was called Anatolia, would be east of Israel, east, are all the Salty Sea unto part of the Jordan. And their borders unto the north are from the ridge of the sea and from the part of the Jordan. And the borders mount unto Beth Vithaglah, and go near from the north unto Vitharavah. And it ascends unto the Oria, again borders, unto the stone of Veon, Lethon. Lethon is a stone, lithography comes from that, of the son of Reuben. So the Reuben would be just north of Judah. And the borders ascend unto Davra, of the ravine of Achor. And that would have been that man that was stoned for hiding the goods when the sons of Israel took Jericho. And according to the north, it goes down unto Gilgal, which is before the entrance approach of Adamim, which is towards the south in the ravine. And the border, Orion, passes out unto the Ethor, hydro, water, of the spring of the sun. Helium comes from that. And his outer reaches will be the spring of Rogil. And the borders unto the ravine of the sons of Enam, this is right next to Jerusalem, unto the back of Jebus, which is Jerusalem, it says here, from the south, this is Jerusalem. Now, Joshua, the book of Joshua is the first place it mentions Jerusalem by name. And we ran across, I think, in the first chapter, Adonai-Zedek, or Bezek, was the king of Jerusalem. It was a Jebusite city here, the back of Iavus. And the borders, Oriah, pass out unto the top of the mountain, which is by the face of the ravine of Hinnom, or Enom, towards the west. And this is a mountain, and it's not a mountain, but they call it a mountain, so that's important to know, which is from out of part of the land of Raphaim unto the north. And the border passes through from the top of the mountain unto the spring of the water of Naphtho, and passes out unto the towns of Mount Ephron. And the border leads unto Val. This is the city of Iarim. And the border went around from Baal unto west. Now, west and sea are synonymous. You could call it sea. They went into the sea, but it's talking about north, south, east, and direction, so I use the word as a direction, but the sea and west are synonymous. And shall go by unto Mount Seir, and shall go by unto the back of the city, Jearim, from the north. Vorah, the aurora borealis, the Bora, northern lights. This is Hasalon, and it shall go down unto city of sun, and shall go by unto the south. And the Orion shall pass out at the back of Acharon towards the north. And the Oriah borders shall pass out unto Sakarona, and shall go by the mount of the land of Valon, and pass out unto Eamnil. And the outer reaches of the Orion, the borders, will be unto the sea, Thalasan. See, now here's Thalasan, and their borders from west, the sea. So see, Thalasan, sea, and then west is talking about a border direction, and the sea, Great Sea, that would be the Mediterranean, shall define the bounds. Now, here we got Ori. Now, that's 37:24, and 37:25 is the border, and to define the bounds is the verb. Now, you can see right here above I have proorizo, where the pro is added, where many words, they add a preposition in front, before, behind, around, on top, and so forth, and then the verb. And here it's proorizo. Proorizo could be before or in front of. But 4309, now this is an interesting word, and it only appears in the New Testament, but it does take this orizo, which this is the verb right here, 37:24, for that second part of that word. Now, why am I talking all this about this word, proorizo? Well, we find it in the New Testament in 5 places. And the first place says in Acts 4:28, to do as much as your hand and your counsel predefined to take place. Predefined. So here's defining the bounds, and the borders and the boundaries are the oria. Now, the King James has, for this Greek word, proorizo, 3 different English words. And one of the words is a whole theology and a church built upon a mistranslation of the word. And here, as I said, to do as much as your hand and your counsel predefined to take place. Now, the King James has predetermined to take place. But that's kind of iffy because he defined it by setting a border. It's not a mindset as I see it. But you could argue the point there that predetermined would be okay. But the problem in the next place it appears in Romans 8:29-30, in every place in the Apostolic Bible is predefined. And it says, for of whom he foreknew, he predefined, conformable to the image of his Son, for him to be among many brothers. But these whom he predefined, these also he called. Now, what is the word that is used in the King James? Predetermined was in Acts 4:28, but no, they had to translate this one into predestined. And there's the problem. We have this predestination, the whole idea of God setting up something, making it happen before it ever takes place. And now, whether God does or doesn't do that is not the point here. The point is, this is the translation of proorizo is something that was predefined, as I have it in the Apostolic Bible, not predestined. It doesn't. There's no destining causing something. This is setting a border, defining a border of his image of his Son for us to be predefined for. That's is what we're to be. This is his plan, but it's not like he made us do this, and this is we don't have any choice, as these certain teachers of predestination will teach, that basically God is going to cause somebody to whatever, we have no, basically too much, we don't have any free will, and God has it all predetermined, but it's not, it's a predefined. So, then again in 1 Corinthians 2:7, it says, but we speak wisdom of God in a mystery being concealed, which God predefined before the eons for your glory. So God predefined the glory and the whole thing. But now, what does the King James have? First, it was predetermined in Acts 4:28, Romans 8:29-30, it's predestined, and now it's ordained before. So now, ordained is close, is another one that he ordained it before. Well, he predefined it before, but so the point is the King James has 3 different words for the same Greek word, but not in the King James Apostolic Bible. And then in Ephesians 1:5, it says, having predefined us for adoption through Jesus Christ to himself, according to the good pleasure of his will. And King James has predestined again here. It's predefined, but we have a free will to accept the adoption or to reject it. It's not something that we are caused to do. I don't see that at all. I just think that's a terrible translation, and it was... If you go into the Old Testament, you'll see where the bounds and defining the bounds as we have up here is over and over and over again. I don't know, maybe 100 places in the Old Testament. So I don't think the translators of the King James went to the Greek Old Testament, and they used the English, the words that they chose, and three different English words, which to me is kind of convoluted, but it's what it was. And then so the last one, Ephesians 1:11, it says, "In whom also we were chosen by lot, being predefined according to the intention of the one operating all things according to the counsel of his will." Now, the ones chosen by lot, they're predefined according to the intention. And now the King James has, again, predestined. And we're chosen, but how are we chosen? I believe we have a free will, and we can reject God and walk away from him anytime that we want. We can't lose our deliverance, and they call it salvation. We can't lose it, like it's not going to drop out of our pocket. And I believe that being chosen of God is definite. But God chose the children of Israel. Jesus chose Judas Iscariot. So that's not an end-all. That is not an end-all where that this is it. If we're chosen, then that's wonderful, but it doesn't finish it. It's not a done deal. The person could still walk away even if they're chosen, as the examples that I just showed. It's not something that's a done thing as I can predestine. So I thought I'd bring that out here because the word is all through this borders. These are the borders of the sons of Judah round about according to their peoples. Now, next we go to Caleb again, and we went through history of Caleb and all the mention of Caleb in the last chapter, so I'm not going to go through it all again, but we'll just go through this and find out what happens with Caleb once he is going into the land of Canaan. And to Caleb, son of Ephoni, he gave a portion, that is Joshua, Jesus, a portion in the midst of the sons of Judah, according to the order of God. And Jesus gave to him the city of Arve, the metropolitan, again the metropolis, we mentioned that in the last one, of Anak, the Anakim, the giants. This is Hebron, and Hebron is right down here, and the West Bank, and Jerusalem is up here. Hebron, the West Bank, where the Palestinians control it today. And Caleb, son of Ephoni, utterly destroyed from there the three sons of Anak, Susi and Ahiman and Thalvai. So all of these, the three sons, offspring of the Anak, they're probably giants. And Caleb ascended from there unto the ones dwelling in Debir. And the name Davir was formerly city of letters, and this is all Greek, and I'm not sure what the Hebrew word is for it, but city of letters. And Caleb said, "Whoever should take the city of letters and should dominate it, I will give to him Oxen, my daughter, for a wife," Thigatera, daughter. And Gothoniel, son of Kenaz, a relative, the brother of Caleb, the younger brother of Caleb, took it. And Caleb, he gave to him his younger brother, Oxa, his daughter. So he's basically sister-in-law, given sister. Oxa has the daughter, which would be his sister-in-law, for a wife. There. And it came to pass in her going forth that she advised him, saying, "Well, I'll ask my father for a field." Agron, agriculture, comes from that. And she yelled from the donkey. And Caleb said, "Well, what is it with you?" And she said to him, "Well, give a blessing to me, for You have appointed me for the land of the Negev, the desert. Give to me Golath Maim. And Caleb gave her Golath Maim, the upper part, and Golath, the part below. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the sons of Judah, according to their peoples. And their cities, foremost cities, were of the tribe of the sons of Judah, unto the borders of Edom, unto the wilderness. And now we get all these names, and I'm just going to mention and go right through them all. Kabseel, and Eder, and Agur, and Kinah, and Dimona, and Abadah, and Cadiz, and Asor, and Ionan, Ziph, and Telem, Valoth, Asor, the new, and the cities, Esron, of Hezron. This is Asor, Aman, and Samah, and Moladah, and Asaruah, and Asargadah, and Asamon, and Vithphelet, and Virsaveh, and Viziothea, and Valah, and Avim, and Asem, and Eltholad, and Seel, and Irmah, and Sekaleth, and Medimanah, and Sanah, and Lavaoth, and Salim, and Ainin, and Ramon, all the cities, 29, and their towns. In the plain, Asthaol, and Sarah, and Asnah, and Sano, and Egonim, Tafuah, and Enaim, and Erimuth, and Adullam, and Saho, and Azekah, and Sevarim, and Agathaim, and Gadirah, its properties, 14 cities, and all their towns. Senam, and Adasah, and Magdalgad, and Dalan, and Masifah, and Echthail, and Lachis, and Vasahath, and Aglon, and Havo, and Lamas, and Kathalis, and Gadiroth, and Vithdagon, and Nomah, and Makidah, 16 cities, and their towns. Levnah, and Athur, and Asan, and Ephthah, and Asanah, and Nesiv, and Keilah. Now see, when it's a double dots, it's not E, it's not pronounced as normally with an E, epsilon iota, E, but it's E. Epsilon is and E is the iota. And so it's Keilah, and Ziv, and Marisah, 9 cities and their towns. Akaron, and her towns, and her properties. From Akaron, and unto Thalasan, Emnath, and all as much as are neighboring Asdod, Ashdod. Now we're down over here. Ashdod, Philistine. Asdoth, and her towns and her properties. Gazi, and her towns and her properties, unto the rushing stream of Egypt. That goes way down over there. And the great sea separates. And in the mountainous area, Samir, and Ether, and Soho, and Rena, and Polis Grammaton, city of letters. This is Thavir. So now this is it, where I mentioned earlier I couldn't remember what it was. Thavir. And Anab, and Asimo, and Anim, and Gosom, and Helon, and Gilo, 7 cities and their towns. Erev, and Rumah, and Esan, and Eanum, and Vithfueh, and Aphachah, and Amatah, and the city of Arveh. This is Hebron, which I showed down there today, and the Muslims have it. And Seor, 9 cities and their properties. Maon, and Hermel, and Zeph, and this is Mount Carmel, that's up further north, but I don't think it's the same. And Etah, and Israel, and Ekdaam, and Zanuah, Eken, and Gavaa, and Thamnah, 10 cities and their towns. Alue, and Vithsur, and Gedor, and Maroth, and Vithanoth, and Elthaken, 6 cities and their towns. Kariathval, this is the city of Ierim, and Aramvah, 2 cities and their properties. In the Erimo, the wilderness, a hermit comes from that word. Vitharava, and Madin, and Skaka, and Nevsan, and the cities of the salts. That would be around the salty sea. And Gadi, and there you have En-Gedi is down here. 6 cities and their towns. And the Evuseus, the Jebusite, dwelt in Jerusalem, and the sons of Judah were not able to destroy them. And the Jebusites, Evuseos, dwelt with the sons of Judah in Jerusalem unto this day. Okay, so that was the tribe of Judah. We're going to continue, same pretty much for the rest of this book, I think, with all the tribes and the cities and so forth. I hope you'll continue with us. Hopefully you'll find other interesting words that we can bring out and study while we go through all this geography course. Till next time, God bless.